All right, so today is International Day of Forests, and it's also the spring equinox. So, in celebration of these two wonderful holidays, I thought I would go to my local forest and just take a look at all the flora I can find, all the trees, the shrubs, everything, and see what I can name. So, let's go on a little trip, huh? I'm over in for reference, I'm in Northwest Washington, so you're gonna see a lot of evergreen trees, ferns, that sort of stuff. It's currently raining. This past weekend was pretty cold, it snowed, and so the forest I'm in has a lot of downed vegetation, a lot of like broken tree branches and fallen leaves, that sort of thing. But yeah, still a lot of greenery, lovely day. It's raining right now, but it's not coming down too hard. So we should be able to see a lot of good stuff. And as a bonus, because it's raining, there's not very many people here. So let's see what we can find. All right, so right off the bat, you can kind of see what we're working with. We have a lot of tall evergreen trees, all planted around the same time, I want to say. I'm fairly certain that this park I'm in was at one time like a clear cut, and then it was restored probably, I don't know, 70s, maybe 60s, somewhere in there, maybe earlier, who knows. I don't expect that these trees around me are too old, but yeah, we'll see what we got here. As you can see, there's tons of Douglas firs, so why don't we just start with that. So in Western Washington, there's so many different types of evergreen trees, it can be a little bit hard to tell what's what. So one of the best ways to identify the tree variety is based off of its bark pattern. So here we have a Douglas fir, and you can tell because the bark has these like smooth ridges throughout. Just like all over. Now this tree in particular has a lot of moss and like lichens growing on it, but you can still see here these like cool like wedges in the bark, right? So that coupled with the needle pattern, which, you know, can't really get to because they're way up there, but that'll tell you that that is a Douglas fir. So tree number one, down. Also, another example of a great tree. Oh man, we mostly just have Douglas firs around here. I'm looking for our next one, which is going to be a Western Red Cedar, but I don't really see too many of them right around me. I'll have to look and go out of my way for one, I'm sure. But Douglas firs and Western Red Cedars are two of the most populous trees you'll find here in Western Washington. And okay, here we go. We got a great example. So this right here is one of the fallen branches I was talking about. You can see though, these needles here, how they are all individual needles. They're not like clumps, for example, but they're all just one after another. So those are Douglas fir. And then I'm standing under right now a Western Red Cedar. And you can tell here, these are the leaves on a Western Red Cedar. See how like flat they are in comparison to the like all over direction of these Douglas firs. So Western Red Cedars are not true cedars. As far as I'm aware, there's not any actual cedars that are native, no true cedars native to North America. It's like a misnomer. Western Red Cedars are in the family of cypresses. And so you can tell that it's a Western Red Cedar because of the bark here as well. Notice all these like vertical stripes and striations along here. This bark really like peels easy, you know. I'm not trying to peel it, but this little bit just like peeled off there. And you can actually see like right around here too. It's like, let's get in there, peeling pretty good. So Western Red Cedar peels very easily. And I think it's actually my favorite tree in Western Washington, one of them at least. I love these trees. They smell so good too. I mean, they all do, but yeah, Western Red Cedars are cool. They can grow like was it like 10 feet in a year, something to that effect. Very fast growing tree. But yeah, super wonderful. Oh yeah, and you can see here a few smaller ones right next to it as well. So yeah, a few younger Western red cedar saplings right next door. All right, so we've got a really great example of some shrubs and lower story plant life down here. So of course it wouldn't be the Northwest without heaping amounts of ferns. So that right there is a sword fern. It's one of my two favorite types of ferns. Also maidenhair ferns are really cool, but we're not going to see any maidenhair ferns over in this area, I don't think. But yeah, so those are sword ferns, just super populous here in Northwest Washington. There's another one. There's another one. Love those plants. And then in addition to sword ferns, we've also got a few other plants here too. So we have what I believe are called fringe cups. I don't know the actual scientific name of these fellas here. But yeah, these are called fringe cups, and they are native plants as well. Commonly used by the indigenous people of the area in like aiding stomach upset when it's like ground up and like made into a drink beverage. I don't really know, but yeah, those are fringe cups. Really cool little plant. I've never sampled them myself, but so you know, don't try it at home. I guess I probably shouldn't be advocating for that. But yeah, fringe cups. And then also right next to them we have, and you can see these all throughout the understory here too, are Osoberry. There's another term for them too, but Solal produce these little like black berries. They have kind of like a little X mark on the bottom of them. I think, I don't know, I see them growing all the time. They grow and like are ready to harvest in like August, I want to say, September, somewhere around there, maybe a little sooner, but basically summertime. And yeah, very cool plants as well. Solal, lovely plant. And then we also have, where'd it go? Ah, perfect. We've got a good old patch of Oregon grape right here. So this is all Oregon grape. Doesn't actually produce grapes. It does produce like an edible berry that I think you can eat. I don't really know on that one either, to be honest. I haven't tried it myself, but I think they're one of those berries that you don't want to eat too many of, otherwise it'll give you the runs. But yeah, that's Oregon grape, native to the Northwest as well. And ooh, actually, sorry, false alarm. But yeah, so those are some of the understory plants you'll see here in the Northwest as well. All right, and just to further illustrate it, all these bushes, like all the way through here, is all Solal. I don't think it'll all produce berries. I think they need a certain amount of sunlight to do that, and in the understory here, I don't know if they get that, but yeah, this is all Osoberry right through here. All right, so next is another shrub that you'll see, actually it's more of like a bush, I wanna say, but this is Osoberry. And it is a native plant here to the Northwest as well, stretching down into California, I wanna say, but yeah, Osoberry. It has these really cool little like outward, I don't know, blooms. It's an early bloomer for the Northwest. It produces fruit that you can eat, but I think the fruit, as well as the bark, act as like a laxative a little bit. So I think you can eat the fruit, but you don't want to eat too many of them because, again, a laxative. But yeah, it doesn't grow in particularly wet soil, more like dry to moderately moist. So you probably won't see it in like, you know, the Hoh rainforest and places like that. But yeah, Osoberry, also called Indian plum, but I prefer the name Osoberry. All right, next up we have our first broadleaf evergreen tree. It's a really cool tree. It stretches all the way down from like Vancouver as far as San Diego, I want to say. But it is the Pacific Madron, and it's such a cool tree. So check this out. So Pacific Madrones have this really cool reddish, like orangish peeling bark that peels really easily. they're just beautiful trees. The leaves here, you can see there's some branches from a fir tree that fell on it, but it's got these like really cool, like wide, waxy sort of leaves. But yeah, this is Pacific Madron. You'll see behind me, maybe, I don't know if you can see that through here, but there is a bunch of Madron in the distance through this whole area, as well as firs. So Madrons really like to grow where Douglas firs grow as well. But they grow a little faster than Douglas firs after like wildfire, for example. So if like fire comes in and like, you know, clears out an area, you'll see Madrons kind of coming back faster than you would some of the Douglas firs. But they're just really cool trees. I love this orangish reddish bark. There's an area of Seattle named after the Madron tree called Madrona. Yeah, like get a look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. I don't know if it's coming through as well as it does on my camera or in my eyes, but yeah, Pacific Madron, just an all-around beautiful tree. Really big fan. But yeah, first broadleaf evergreen. So I'm hoping we'll find a deciduous here in this area, but you know, I don't know if we will. There's a few over here that I think are deciduous trees. I think this in the sky up here behind me is, see this tree right there? I know I'm a little bit dark, sorry about that. I'm pretty confident that this big old tall tree right there is a big leaf maple, but you know, the leaves have fallen. It's currently like, you know, early March, so a little hard for me to tell. You know, I think this is a big leaf maple, and there's actually a few around here, so maybe we can kind of see it a little bit better here in the distance. Again, sorry, it's March, there's no leaves. There's plenty of like decaying leaves on the ground. Ooh, I think I found a maple leaf actually right here. So yeah, part of a leaf, big leaf maple. Our first, and I think only deciduous tree that is in this particular park I'm in, at least native to the Northwest. And I think with that, that caps off all of our plants that I wanted to highlight. So I want to thank you for watching. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful International Day of Forests. I hope you're able to get outside and just, you know, spend some time in the natural world, because it's important to remember that, you know, we aren't separate from nature, we're a part of nature. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm your nature friend Aaron, and I'll see you next time.